Throughout history, countless acts of betrayal have shaped humanity, yet the name Judas has become synonymous with the very act. He was not just a follower of Jesus, he was part of the chosen 12, those who witnessed his miracles, heard his teachings, and shared in the pivotal moments of his ministry. Yet, Judas did something unthinkable for someone so close to God. He betrayed his teacher. Jesus, fully aware of the future betrayal among his disciples, still chose Judas as one of the 12. Why? Why did he allow this to happen? Today, we will explore the role Judas's betrayal played in God's divine plan and how this story resonates with us today. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on future episodes. Judas Iscariot, whose name has become synonymous with betrayal, was one of the 12 apostles, Jesus' closest followers. For 3 years, he walked alongside the teacher, witnessing extraordinary events, miracles, teachings, and the fulfillment of ancient prophecies. Judas could not have denied that Jesus was neither a charlatan nor a false prophet. Everything he saw and heard pointed unmistakably to the fact that Jesus was the true Messiah. Among the disciples, Judas held a special role as the keeper of the group's money bag. However, the Gospel of John highlights his dishonesty. He was a thief. As keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put into it. John 12:6. This suggests that Judas struggled with a weakness for material possessions. Judas was present during pivotal moments in Jesus' ministry. He witnessed the healing of the sick, the raising of the dead, the feeding of the multitudes, miracles that could only be attributed to divine intervention. Yet, knowing is not the same as believing, and this distinction lies at the heart of Judas's story. The primary motive behind Judas's betrayal was greed. The Gospel of Matthew recounts his negotiation with the chief priests. "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him to you?" So they counted out for him 30 pieces of silver. Matthew 26:15. While the sum was relatively modest, for Judas, accustomed to stealing from the money bag, it was enough of a temptation. Some scholars suggest that Judas may have been disillusioned with Jesus. Perhaps he expected the Messiah to bring political liberation to Israel, but instead saw a message of humility and service. This disappointment could have fueled his decision to betray. The spiritual dimension also played a significant role. The Gospel of John states, "Then Satan entered into him." John 13:27. This indicates that Judas's actions were not solely the result of human weakness, but part of a larger spiritual struggle. One of the most profound questions surrounding this story is whether Jesus knew about the betrayal in advance. The answer is clear. Yes, he did. Jesus not only knew but also spoke about it openly. In the Gospel of John, he declares, "Did I not choose you, the 12, and yet one of you is a devil?" John 6:70. These words were spoken long before the Last Supper, demonstrating Jesus' full awareness of what was to come. The betrayal of Judas was also foretold in the Old Testament. Psalm 41:9 states, "Even my close friend, someone I trusted, one who shared my bread, has turned against me." These prophetic words gained deeper significance during the Last Supper, as Jesus shared bread with his disciples, fully aware that Judas was already planning to betray him. Jesus saw into the hearts of his disciples, understanding their strengths and weaknesses. As John writes, "For Jesus knew from the beginning who they were who did not believe and who would betray him." John 6:64. Despite this foreknowledge, Judas was given the opportunity to walk closely with the Messiah, learn from him, and witness divine glory firsthand. The betrayal of Judas, as dark as it appears, was not a random event. It was an integral part of God's plan to redeem humanity. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus states, "The Son of Man goes just as it is written about him, but woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed." This declaration highlights that Judas's actions were foretold by the prophets, yet he bore full responsibility for them. Does this mean Judas was merely a pawn in God's plan? Absolutely not. Judas acted of his own free will. Even during the Last Supper, when Jesus directly addressed him by saying, "What you are about to do quickly," Judas still had the chance to reconsider. However, he chose to proceed with his plan. Judas's betrayal set in motion a series of events: Jesus' arrest, trial, crucifixion, and resurrection, that became the culmination of God's redemptive work. Without his act, the fulfillment of prophecies and the ultimate sacrifice for humanity's salvation might not have unfolded in the same way. It's essential to understand that while Judas's actions were woven into the fulfillment of prophecy, they were still his own choices. This demonstrates God's sovereignty, where even acts of evil can be used to accomplish his greater good. God does not force anyone to take the path of betrayal, but grants everyone the freedom to choose. Judas had opportunities to turn back until the very end, but his decisions, driven by greed and internal weaknesses, ultimately led him down the path of infamy. The story of Judas Iscariot is not merely a tale of treachery, it is a profound lesson about free will and the depth of God's redemptive plan. Despite his close relationship with Jesus, Judas chose a path that led to his downfall. Yet, his actions played a pivotal role in fulfilling God's purpose of salvation. Judas's betrayal reminds us that God can turn even the darkest events into opportunities for good. The crucifixion and resurrection of Christ became the climax of his mission, and even the act of betrayal was used to bring about this ultimate goal. This illustrates the grandeur of God's plan and his ability to work through human choices. Judas's story prompts us to reflect on important questions. How do we use the opportunities given to us? How do we exercise our free will? These questions are as relevant today as they were then, serving as reminders of the importance of genuine faith and personal responsibility for our actions. What are your thoughts on Judas's betrayal? Could he have chosen a different path, or was he simply fulfilling his role in God's plan? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episodes.